Good evening from Bali, everyone. It's Inique from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. I know it's a little bit late, and so you're seeing a lot more darkness today, but I wanted to get this video out, and I'm so excited to be sharing something with you today that I think is actually very appropriate for this time in our world experience. Today I thought I'd talk about assumptions, corrections, and killing possibilities. So this is interesting. When I'm looking at these ideas, I thought I'd start with this quotation for you today, which says, "Incorrect assumptions lie at the root of every failure. Have the courage to test your assumptions." Now, some of you might know that whole image of to assume, A-S-S-U-M-E, is to make an ass out of you and me, A-S-S, out of you and me, M-E. So this is the case for many times when we have assumptions. Yeah, assumptions definitely save some time. I assume this, so I do this, or I assume that, so I don't do that. And assumptions, again, the root of every failure. And I thought today I would put this together with the idea of what's happening in technology, that oftentimes we've used human minds to create technology, and how useful it's been for so many things, like these videos that I get to make on YouTube. So excited that technology has allowed this. Now, I assume that I can make a video and actually watch my video again to see that I'm saying the things that I'd like to share with you. And that gives me a little bit of feedback of, okay, this is correct. Now, I share quotations with you, and we know that these are all online these days. And to find the quotations that match what I would like to share with you, anything that I'd like to share with you, I can probably find something to match what I'm going to speak. So that's how much knowledge is out there that we can find with such easy access through computers and technology today. Yet, if I assume that this quotation is by this, sometimes I've been corrected. So we know that there's lots of filters on these days that sometimes we can see that this is fake, this is not the quotation author, and we'll find that it should be this person. And so this is one of the things about technology, that human minds have created this, have created all of our resources here. And you know, there was a time where people would go to a library and go in and research and find out that, okay, this is the original source of something, and this is what's happening on computers. And thank goodness we don't have to do the same work today. And so much of it is available to us, and so much correction is also happening. Now, this again is a reflection of our own personal lives too. So you'll see that when children are growing up, it's very common that a child will say, "Oh, this is an apple," and might be corrected by a parent or a teacher. It's like, "Oh no, that's an orange. It's actually different, and I'll show you how it's different." So there's the correction. So here is the assumption. I thought it's red, and so I thought it was an apple, and yet it's an orange, and then there's the correction. And then what happens over time is we get used to the correction. So just as we became used to corrections from parents or teachers who would say, "No, not like this, do it like this is how this is done." And it's based on a bias that comes through an individual. This is what an apple looks like. Now, a child comes by with something else that looks very much like an apple, yet it's a pear. So there's even an apple pear you might come across. So interesting, because, oh, should an apple be red? So there's this flexibility of thinking that we can gain over time through experience. Yet in the corrective mode, no, that's not an apple, it's this. And we become corrective with haste too, which is exactly what we get from computers, that we can see that there are grammar applications or programs that people can put in, whether a paragraph or a whole book, and have grammar corrections. So this is what a person wants to say, and this is how it's appropriate in proper grammar. And so it's corrected and brought back, and a student will give that to a teacher. Now, there was a time where this grammar works, yet this word would be even better. So we looked at synonyms, and We looked at antonyms, we looked in thesauruses to see what would be just the right word for what I'm trying to express. Now, as long as it's gone through some grammar check and spell check too, you'll notice that spell check will make mistakes. And so there will be the autocorrect of what we're trying to type. We'll put in 2 letters and it assumes that this is the word that you want to write, and it automatically puts in that word. And unless we look at that statement again and see, was that the word that I want in there, I won't notice. So there's been a correction. There was an assumption by the computer that this is the word, and there's the correction. And unless I have some ability to flex my own mind, to pay attention to, is this exactly what I wanted to say? And again, in our world right now, there's so much haste that, oh, if a program is doing this for me and it's already corrected it, I don't even look twice. And this is what we do with each other too. So I thought I would say this quotation or share this quotation with you too. It says, assumptions are the termites of relationships. Assumptions are the termites of relationships. So if I feel a relationship is like this is how a normal relationship would be. This is my mind filtering. This is the style of relationship. So whether it's a friendship or whether it's a romantic relationship, whether it's dating or whether it's marriage, I have an assumption of this is how it should be. And there's no shoulds, are there? There's definitely how one person might like it to be, another person might like it to be. And if I assume that what I would like it to be is what you would like it to be, that's a termite of a relationship. It just totally eats away at the relationship. And many times people don't go through this process regularly in relationships to see that is what this mind is assuming correct about what you're experiencing or what you think about this. And we might also think that a partner will correct us that no, that's not what I'm thinking this. But if a partner is concerned about, oh, this partner might leave me and they're dating me right now, I'd like them to be a long-term relationship, I'd like to get married to them, they might not correct. And so if we don't get the correction, then we just continue assuming. And yet, this is the termites of relationships, so communication is super important. I wanted to come back to children, and not even children, young adults who are corrected regularly. So we go through exams in schooling, and this is not right, this is right. There was a time when there were maybe smaller classes, or certain schools still do this. Certain teachers might take the time to do this. And it's, what were you thinking with this answer that you wrote in? Because it's very interesting. And I can tell you, it's not that I went to school so long ago, but it's been a few years. And I can tell you that there's been a few key teachers that actually sat with me with those sorts of conversations. Now, I was also a student who liked actually spending time with teachers after school to ask questions or to share a thought or some experience or something I thought about an assignment. And I guess that opened the conversation, so it goes both ways. So opening those conversations and being available as a student allowed the availability from the teacher who also wanted to share this way and was often very, very pleased that I was asking questions that many students were not. Now today, they're students just like me, but do they get the time to ask those questions? And is there this allowing of a flexibility of what do you think about this, rather than just saying this is right or this is not right? If someone is making a question of, is this an apple? To say, what is it about this that makes it seem like an apple to you? It's a simple question, but to take that moment to reflect, to help a person understand how they think about things and how it might be based on, oh, it's the color of it, it's the texture of it, it's the size of it, anything that allows them to put together, this is why I think this way, and then to see that, yeah, I guess that does match, and to actually encourage that sort of thinking is something that's not done often. And oftentimes this happens in relationships too, that this is how I think of things, this is how you do, and to not jump on, well, that's not right, or a lot of people do this now, and not right for this mind, for one person's mind, not so right, maybe right for another person's mind. And so this correction has led to this limited expansion. So we become very limited in how we perceive things. This is right and wrong. We become black and white rather than noticing the shades of gray and everything. Today, I believe that students and people in general require this thinking because it allows us to think out of the box, and it allows us to, rather than correct, to actually expand. Hey, this is a different way that we can think about this. And we know a lot of companies actually look for this. This is something that I certainly have studied too, of how to help groups or people, individuals, I think I focus on most, but groups also. So groups in terms of a team in an organization, groups in terms of an educational institution, to be able to think just a little bit broader than this is how it's right or this is how it's not right, to, yeah, this is a possibility, so we can open up this field of possibilities again. Now, the field of possibilities is very divinely attuned. So when we think about everything that comes from divine energy, it's constantly expanding, and our awareness is expanding too. If we can help anyone around us expand in awareness by not jumping to correction and just allowing ourselves to first try to understand, where are they coming from, how are they seeing this. And of course, teachers, I encourage us all to do this. We are all teachers. As a parent, a person is a teacher. As a relative of any sort, you are a teacher. As a friend, you are a teacher. And so when we're teaching each other, we're also teaching ourselves how to respond in a loving and compassionate way. So I know that today I had posted this image of this great message which said, if you can't be a pencil to write someone's happiness, then be an eraser to help remove their sadness. A pencil to write someone's happiness, then be an eraser. So if you can help someone write their happiness, and how can we help someone write their happiness? Because happiness really does help someone flourish, anyone, any age. We can help. We can say, wow, that's a really interesting way to think of that. Never thought of it that way. Or we can say, no, that's not right. And so this is what I'm encouraging you, is to help create that happiness by helping promote that. This is an interesting way to think. This is good. And for this answer, for this question on this exam, it wasn't what I was expecting as a response, but it's so lovely to see how you are responding. This is the feedback I had, and I know that it's been extremely beneficial for my whole life. And then finally, I wanted to make sure that you know that, again, this whole idea of correction is so useful if done in the right loving way, loving and compassionate way. So it's useful, yet is it the best thing we can do? So this whole idea of writing, helping someone write happiness, or erasing sadness, so to actually just be present, that it's okay that that wasn't the right answer for that exam. It's okay, because that's a really unique way to think about it. Or most often it'll be, oh, you didn't spend enough time studying, I saw you watching TV, I saw you playing Netflix, whatever, I saw you on your phone, I saw you sleeping, anything. So that correction and punishment happens very quickly. Yet if there is you'll get another chance, it's okay. Now it's a matter of trying to think of how you did actually do well in these questions, but this question was not so easy. That's okay. Look at the ones you did get right too. We like to think that, well, you didn't pass, and make sure that we understand that that actually sticks in a person's mind. So this quotation says, correction does much, but encouragement does more. Correction does much, but encouragement does more. And so if a student is really good in writing or speaking, that encouragement is fantastic, but maybe they're not so good in math. And it's like, you know what, because you're so good in these, you'll get there. You just need to work a little bit more time on this, or a little bit more effort on this, and it's okay. It'll get easier over time. Right now it's not so easy, just like English or writing or speaking wasn't so easy at one point. It can get easier. So this encouragement is something that we're often missing, whether in workplaces, in homes, or in schools. So in this, I am encouraging you to think about the fact that our energy and our words and our attention to what is happening in front of us with the people that we are around, we have an influence on that with what kind of energy we share and spread. Today, I would encourage us to think about that and reflect on it for 5 minutes or more after this video, and then start implementing it so you are embodying this awareness and this knowledge to encourage the expansion of our consciousness. We are collectively expanding. Let's encourage ourselves to expand in ways that bring happiness. I wish you a fantastic day or night ahead, everyone, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day or night, everyone.